Okay, so we just cleaned all of our brass, got it all nice and tumbled, and got out and cleaned it kind of. So what's the next step?
So the next step in the process would be sizing and depriming. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to give a couple spritz of brass butter here, and just mix it around a little bit. One more. It doesn't need a lot on it, it just needs enough to help lubricate the inside of the die. If you're running carbide dies, you don't have to use it, but it's recommended. It will extend the length of your dies on there.
What's a carbide die?
Carbide die is a die made out of carbide, so it's a lot harder and a lot slicker on the inside versus just like a tool steel die, which is going to be your less expensive dies are going to be more made out of tool steel, and your higher end dies are going to be made out of carbide.
Okay.
So we're gonna, while that's sitting and evaporating, we're gonna go ahead and set this up. So we run the ram all the way to the top, and we just spin the die down until it touches the ram. And I always give it about another 1/8 or 1/4 turn more to make sure you're getting completely sized on there, so you have a little bit of pressure at the bottom, what I call cam over. And so that's all set up and ready to go now. The lead dies that we're using, they have an O-ring inside here, so you can pretty much tighten them down by hand, and it blocks everything in place. Now we're going to just run a couple through here. We're going to size them, check to make sure the primer came out. Just kind of give them a look over. They look like they've come down all the way. If we had a case gauge, we would check the case gauge, which would check to make sure it's the correct diameter and the go no go. Generally, you know, if your die is going down all the way, unless the dies wore out or something like that, you're not going to have that problem on there. So, and then one other thing we can check our reloading manual here. And it's got a case trim length and a max case length. And generally you don't worry about these unless you're running bottlenecked pistol or rifle, but it's always good to kind of check them and just make sure things are within spec. So we're going to check this one, and it's running 747, so it's technically a little bit small according to this book. It's a Winchester 10, which is a military case. That one's running a little bit closer there. So they're within spec there. So then you would just go through and size and deprime each one. And then to get the lube off, you can either retumble them after you've sized them. Then you'll want to check the flash hole, make sure you don't have any media inside there. You can tumble them after they've been loaded, or you can wipe them down by hand. With our lube, you can actually leave it on there. We have some shooters that choose to do that. I don't do that myself, but most of it comes off during the loading process anyways.
So the next step would be to powder and prime it.
Correct. So the next step is going to be putting a primer in, doing a little bell on the top of the case, and then putting powder in.